Hi there. Sorry for the delay. And sorry for not being in the group like I thought I was going to be. Yeah, Facebook had a different opinion tonight, so I'm really sorry. We'll be here for a few minutes until you figure out. You're probably searching everywhere to try and find me. I'm going to see if I can't. Those of you that are seeing this on the page, if you could share this in the VIP group, that would be great. Sorry for the frustration. I'm just like, I hate it when technology doesn't do what I want it to do. So I'm just like, that isn't what I was planning. Hey, Janie. My plan was different. This isn't it. I'm not even sure what I'm looking at right this second. I need to move some stuff around. So anywho, I'm here. Not quite the way I planned, but that's okay. We'll work on that. Technology will be my friend one of these days. Thanks, Shannon. Because that's what I was trying to do, was to get in there, and apparently it said no. No, I don't want to. So we'll do it this way, and then we'll get it figured out. I'm glad you all found me. Okay, phew. All right, so my plan, you notice I've already fumbled once and said cricket instead of what I wanted to say. I'm going to try and do this and not let the two overlap. I don't handle schizophrenia really well, so I don't know how this is going to go. But for right now, we are going to do some casing with this cool moose. I just need to find my moose punch. It's right here. Oh, that's not the right one. I have a moose punch that doesn't work, and I have one that does work. So I need the one that does work. Here he is. So how's everybody doing? I know. I've seen all of hers. They're awesome. It's really cool. All right, so we love this moose. He is super cool. He apparently, so did everyone, because they carried this over from last year. But what I decided to do was, we've been doing some casing. Remember, copy and share everything? So I'm in the catalog, and I went to page 26, which is where, or 27, which is where this bundle is. One that works and one that doesn't? Okay, good. And we are going to case this card right here, okay? So let's zoom you in so that you can see. See it? That's the one, this one right here. Okay, so let's get started. First thing, I liked this one because it's a little different. It is on a garden green card base, so I like that, because I'm really bad at getting into a rut of doing Whisper White all the time. So I like that that's different. So let's move you over here for a sec. So our card base is really super simple. It is 8.5 by 11. And we're going to cut this at 5.5. And then we're going to score it at 4.25. Okay, so that is pretty easy. That's our card base. There we go, right? Then we need a piece of Whisper White, which if you look at this, it's basically going to be our canvas for everything. So the Whisper White is what's going to come next, okay? So this is going to be a 5.25 by 4. And that's all the cutting that we have to do. That's it. Now I do need a piece of scrap paper. Oops, which I just dropped on the floor. I've made this, I keep getting really confused in this room because I've had to do some rearranging to get, of course, the Cricut able to be cameraed. I'm still struggling with that because it's not working exactly the way I want it. And then I have to be able to have this be the way I want it. So we are going to, my inks are now in a different place. So we're going to go with Garden Green. And if you notice, we have 2 different pine trees in here. I know we get obsessed with a moose, but we have 2 different pine trees. So we're going to use both of them. I'm only going to use Garden Green, but we're going to get 2 different looks with it. So I need the 2 trees. And while I do this, right, Becky, that's what I was going to say to you. I know, but the last time I tried to bring in simples, I did get some snarky comments from people that said we don't scrapbook, we only do cards. Okay, I'm sorry. So I was trying to keep them separate, but I have to tell you, I'm not sure I can. So this week I am, but things may change as we go along. As much as I love trying to do 2 at once, or 2 separate, my brain doesn't really work that way. And once, it's kind of like once I open the door and let Cricket back into my brain, it's really hard to keep it not in anything I do. So I was thinking the other day, I make cards when I need to make cards for me, but I have never had anyone say to me, can you stamp me up a card? I get people in my family and my friends and my church saying, would you Cricket me? So that's where yeah. So anywho, I will, tonight we are keeping them separate, but I don't know how that's going to go. All right, so here we are making a scene. Enough of my brain meandering. And if you look at this picture again, let me come back with it. It's on page 27, and it's really helpful if you have it to look at it. Notice that they leave some snow on the ground, a little bit of space here, and we're going to move up about 1/3 of the way is where we're going to start the trees. All right? Okay. So I'm going to start with the taller tree is going to be in the foreground, so it's going to be darker, right? The little tree, I realized I did that backwards. The little tree is going to be in the background. So I'm going to stamp this off. And then I'm going to stamp him back here. Okay, see I'm getting different shades of ink. It looks like I've used like 2 different ink pads, but I didn't. Then I'm going to bring him back. I'm going to stamp him off again. And I'm going to come over here with him. All right, now this guy is coming in, and he's going to go right here. So he's on top of the other one, but that's because I want him to be more in the foreground. Okay, cool, Becky. I like that. Thank you for that opinion. Yeah, we'll see how I can do it, but I feel like I could really incorporate it, and we would have a lot of fun doing both, and it would be different. And that's kind of what I'm all about, is being a little bit different. So there is our background. These trees kind of blend back and forth, and the difference in the color makes them look further, it adds depth to your card. All right? Cool. All right, so there's that. Then, my other question is, when I do, remember back in the day, I used to do everything with a Zoom link and brought people into and said, here's your Zoom link for tonight. And we were live in Zoom instead of on Facebook. No, I love it. I know, you guys are great. The ones that are here tonight, you guys all just kind of go with me. I know. Whatever she's doing, it's fine. Right, aren't the trees pretty? The detail on these trees is amazing. Right? So anyway, I think since I've restated Zoom, I think I might start sharing the Zoom link for our lives. You won't be on camera. It'll just be the part where it's just me on camera, but you can chat. What I like about it is there's not the delay that there is with this. There's a delay with this, and it's substantial. It's probably 20, 30 seconds sometimes. Okay, so next, I'm going to put that aside. They're so pretty. They really are. The detail, right? Like, look at the detail on them. They're incredible. All right, so now I'm going to use my Memento, and it's time for Mr. Moose. I had Lucy today, and I'm going to do Mr. Moose similar. Now, you could do him in Memento, which is what they did in that picture, and then color him in, but I'm going to do him a little bit different. So here's our moose. We have a body, a full-on moose, see him? And then we have the outline. Okay, so we're going to do this Stampin' Off thing. Bring it over here, my scrap paper. And I am going to use, I guess I'm going to go with Crumb Cake. I was trying to decide if I wanted a different one of our moose colors, but I'm going to go with Crumb Cake. All right. We'll see. I'll tell you all before I do it. All right, so this is the moose body. All right, so I want this to be a lighter color. Now I could color him all in, but I'm going to do this so I don't have to. I'm going to stamp on this, and then I'm going to stamp here. Okay, so there's my moose all colored in. I'm going to take this guy. Shannon, does Zoom work better for you guys or worse for you? I can't remember. And now I'm going to just line him up. So now I don't have to color him in. He looks like I did him in different color inks, but I didn't. I used the very same color, right? Now it's not perfect, but it's good. We'll be good with it. All right, so there's the moose. Now I also need this cute little raccoon dude. And he does not have two options. He just has one. So he's going to be done with the Memento. And then I'm going to color him in with my blends. So this simple little card ends up using a ton of techniques and extra stuff, but you don't have to do that. All right, so there's Mr. Raccoon. And then the other thing they use are this little pile of packages. All right, so I'm going to stamp that too right here. Now, I don't have a punch for them, so that means in order to put them on the thing, I'm going to have to fussy cut them. I could have, if I didn't want to do that, I could have just stamped them on here and it would have been okay. I really went for it. I don't know. You know why his leg is like that too? Because the rest of him is really good. I think when I put him on the stamp pad, when I put him on the block, I kind of pulled out his leg a little. So when you do that, be careful that you put it down. Don't do this kind of deal with it if you're trying to line him up. So the best way is to just kind of drop it on the stamp, on the block. It's because I was just being really living life dangerously. All right, so let's see. We got everything stamped now. We're ready to do a little coloring, a little fussy cutting. So I don't need to do him. I can just use my punch, right? This is the kind of stamp that, or card that you could mass produce because you're not doing a lot of coloring. You could have, you are fussy cutting, but you don't have to, remember. Come on, line up, Mr. Moose, get in there. All right, there he is, ready? He's so cool, love him. Alana, Stamparatus would be perfect. It really would. If you, exactly, if you don't feel like you could risk it, the Stamparatus is much better. Now, the forgiving thing about this punch is, let me get him close, that this leg that's not perfect really doesn't show that much. So if you are going to be up tonight because his leg is out of line, then yes, the Stamparatus would definitely make your life easier. Especially if you're going to do more than one, right? Stamparatus is always the thing to go to if you're going to do more than one of anything. So this guy is going to go here, right? See how cool he looks? Now he does need the scarf. Forgot him. Here's his scarf. And that's going to be fussy cut too. Sorry. That's going to be fussy cut too. I think I just woke Bert and the dogs up. And I'm going to go with some real red for a scarf. I love my countertop, but it's super noisy. All right. So in my flurry today, Lucy was in here today, and I grabbed the snips to make sure she wouldn't cut herself. I don't know where I put them. Here they are. No, they're not in my reach either. Oh, I was going to color. Sorry. I have this super new, cool desktop in order to do sorry, I'm picking colors. I guess we'll go with those two. In order to do our Cricut stuff, because my old desktop couldn't handle all this stress of this funky technology. So I got this really great, I really like it. It's huge. I can see it from anywhere. It's really good. But I didn't realize it was a touch screen until Grace came over to do school on Thursday. She's like, oh, Mimi, it's a touch screen. I'm like, what? Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew that. I, of course, knew that. So it's like a ginormous iPad. It's really cool. I haven't tried it with Cricut though. Okay. Now I gotta color in my little raccoon. So remember, we talked about this before. If you don't have the blends, you can use your blender pen. It's an HP all-in-one, Mary Lou. Really love it. It's so cool. Has a built-in camera that just pops up at the top. I really like it. So if you don't have the colors that you want, or you want to be sure that it coordinates with your stamped image, you can use this one, the blender pen, if you don't have a lot of the blends yet. So I want him to be the same color. So I'm just gonna, you just dip him in your ink and go ahead and color. The only negative is you can't do a lot of If you do too much scrubbing, the paper kind of balls up on you. So be careful, don't get too carried away. Oh, I love it. There's no big base, there's nothing. And I really do like the Mac laptop, and that's what I'm on all the time, but that just can't handle Zoom and Cricut Design Space at the same time. It just can't, as much as I'd like it to. And the screen is so tiny. So this is huge. So I don't have any trouble at all with it. It's great. I'm gonna see if I can show it to you. But I have like I have a Zoom window open. Oh wait, I can do this. I forgot. So this has nothing to do with what we're doing, but let me see if I can do it. See how big it is? It's like super cool, right? It's right there. Okay. Now we're ready to cut. I got a new desktop, Kathy. I have a laptop, but and that's what I've been using. Good night, Lana. But I got this new desktop, and I love it. Yeah, it's great. And I have enough room to see. That's why I'm thinking of going back to Zoom more. I can see everyone in Zoom, and that was my problem before. I couldn't see. There was just no room on the small Mac. I have the MacBook Air. And I love it. I love the Mac. I love everything about it. But I couldn't afford a Mac desktop. Just not on my list. Yeah, the Mac was double the price though. And I couldn't justify it. And to make sure I had enough power, I had to have extra added to it because the Macs now use so much on the cloud. I don't know. I might be a little crazy. Mary Lou, you go back and forth a lot between Macs and PCs. So I'm fussy cutting and yapping. Just cutting out around my guy. Again, if you didn't want to do this, you could have just stamped him right on the card front. It would have been fine. I'm trying to do it as it was in the catalog. Well, you know, the funny thing is that a lot of time I don't work at my desk. I work sitting on the couch or watching TV while I do it. It's a really bad habit, but it works. So I wouldn't want just the desktop, but boy, the size of the screen is awesome. I do love that, and I can't get used to the touch screen part, but I think I will. Yeah, we'll see. I had the Surface Pro before, but you know what I didn't like about it? Again, this is dumb. It kept falling over when I sat on the couch. So I couldn't maneuver it. I've had, not lately. It was when it first came out I had one, or I tried one, and I didn't like it. All right, so this is crazy detail that we're cutting this little scarf, but he's gonna look cute. Right, Becky? Yes, I know. I hear you. So if you were gonna do these cards, you were going to either want to use the scan and cut or call a friend who has one and ask them to do these for you, because it would go really quick for that. Ah, okay. See, I haven't explored that yet. All right, so that's going to go there. I'm going to clean up my mess now. We're almost to the point of making this look like the card in the catalog. All right, so let's bring our catalog back so we're sure we're doing this right. So he's got his scarf on, then the packages, then the raccoon. All right, so see, I think he could have just been stamped right there, and I wouldn't have had to worry about can you see it up close? I think I could have just stamped him and not fussy cut him and just cut the packages, and that would have been way simpler. But I cut him now, so we're going to live with him. And we need to put this on. Yeah. This HP I bought, I don't know if it was because it didn't say it was a Prime Day. No, I bought it before Prime Day, so that didn't have anything to do with it. I was thinking maybe that was it. Oh my goodness, this is giving me fits tonight there. All right, now remember I said I stamped him on there, but his eyes are a little faded. I think he's okay though. I like him. All right, so there's that. Let's put these guys together. He needs to go on with dimensionals though. I was recording cricket classes earlier. There's him. He's so cute. There's our present. And then this guy. Now, I could, in the catalog, they sponged the sky in here. I didn't do that, but I could have done that if I wanted to give it a little bit more. In my case, it's snowing everywhere. Now we have snow in this stamp set, so we're going to take a little bit of Pool Party, if I can find it, and we are going to add some snowflakes. I know, right? And now it's snowing. And I'm going to take this, which is going to give me some dimension to my snow. So I'm using so many stamps in here in this one set. And that adds a little bit of snowdrifty dimension where his feet are, where he's been walking on the bottom. And last but not least, what is the sentiment? Merry Christmas. No. Yeah, it is. Merry Christmas. Okay. It just sounded too corny when I said it out loud. Have a cozy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Okay. Sounded really corny. Super cute, right? And really not hard. The hard part was the fussy cutting. So truly, if I had just stamped those there, it would have been fine. It's really not the end of the world. And Merry Christmas is going to go right there. And now, let me close up our inks. And I like that it wasn't just one stamp in the whole thing that we used. You know, we used, all I have left is, I have a hat, which I could have used. I could have put the hat on the moose. He would have looked cute. An ornament, a star that could have gone on the tree. So really, we used almost all of them. And there's so many stamp sets that I don't do that with that I love it when that can happen. So again, case the catalog, go in the catalog and look at ideas. The coolest people design the samples for the catalog. They're like really good. And so the catalog can be more of an idea book than just buy me. There you go. So all set, right? So that's page 27 of the mini catalog. And it's really cute. I'm trying to clean up so I can show you that. Bring the catalog back. Now we're not exact, but we're pretty close. But the other idea is think about this, that you start with a palette and build. You could do this with other stamp sets too, not just this one. So the same idea, it's the 8.5 by 11, cut in half, score it 4 1/4, and then a 4 by 5 1/4 palette. This can get decorated so much more. You could make this much more fancy if you wanted. You could use Wink of Stella, of course, on the trees would look great. Some of that glitter ice that we had last year is still available, and that's really pretty. So Merry Christmas, everyone. Thanks for coming and finding me, even though I didn't make it easy tonight, and I sent you on a technology travel to find us. I appreciate that, and I will see you all soon. Bye.